All right. I believe I'm audible right now, so we can quickly resume the session. And today we are going to cover the updates between 23rd to 31st of March. So this is going to be the current affairs weekly compilation for the month of March. In the preceding sessions on Sunday and yesterday also, we have already covered the 3-week current affairs in a consolidated, in a holistic manner. So this is going to be the other session. I am regularly trying to integrate your weekly current affairs along with the static general knowledge that is required to address a lot of questions, because the static questions most of the days, if you see the question paper, they are also going to be revolving in and around this dynamic news portion. Okay? For example, if RBI, anything about the RBI releases a report, RBI puts some penalty on some financial entity or some regulating company or some banking, NBFC, etc., banking, non-banking NBFCs. So you have to be very much sure about the static knowledge pertaining to Reserve Bank of India itself. What happened in 1926? What is Hilton Young Committee? All right. What happened in 1934? The Act 1935, 1937, and lastly the nationalization as well. To try to integrate all these portions so that you can answer the static questions as well. Now let's move ahead. If you have not already downloaded the application, you can download the application to get the PDF files easily. Okay. Recently, Oliveboard has also launched this selection kit, banking selection kit. So if you are willing, you can also try it out. Okay. It has a set of 52 books for QRE, GK, Blast, live classes, 2000 MCQ, and the coverage of PYQ. Everything is provided in the kit. So basically, it is a success kit. Any aspirant, any learner who is trying to excel in these banking examination, they should definitely try it out. Chaliye. So today's first news that we are going to cover is regarding China is surpassing Netherlands as India's third largest export destination. What does the term export destination means in simple term? For example, any country, there are multiple countries in the world, they are trading with each other. Somebody is sending one article, somebody is sending another article. One party is sending the article, the other party is receiving the article. Let's suppose we are in a trade relationship with America or with any other country. We are sending some goods or services, supplying some goods and services to America, and we are also taking certain goods and services from America. So as far as the export list is concerned, to whom we are exporting most of the goods, most of the articles. So China has become our third largest partner now, and it has left Netherlands quite far away in this particular list. Netherlands used to be at the third place earlier. Now it is at the fourth place, and China has surpassed it. A lot of students might think that how come this small country like Netherlands has so much trade with a country in Asia, South Asia like India. It is not directly our a trading partner. The volume that we are talking about is not entirely going to Netherlands. Netherlands has a very important strategic geographical location which is called as Port of Rotterdam. This Port of Rotterdam is like a gateway, or it is like a entry if you talk about the European market. So anything that we are sending it or anybody else is sending it, it acts as a delivery point. For example, if you are living in a apartment, it might be having multiple sections, multiple wing. All right. If you are in a housing society, any type of commercial project by DLF or any other big builder, so there are a lot of wings, wing A, wing B, wing C, section A, section B, section C. So whenever the delivery partner is entering through the main gate, he is moving to the wing, and at this wing the things are basically being verified if there is a good security check intact. Okay, so you can think of Rotterdam as a link or like a delivery point for all the goods that is moving to Europe. Anything that has to go to Germany, anything which has to go to Sweden, it is going to pass through this Port of Rotterdam. So our trade with Europe is significant. We are trading with a lot of European countries, and all those goods has to pass through this particular point, and that is why Netherlands was having such a high position as far as India's export partner list is concerned. Now China is directly engaging with us as far as the trade is concerned, and you will see that India's export to China has now surged by approximately 13.5%. The total value for this particular export has reached around $1.67 billion, a very significant number if you even compare it with last year. And this becomes more significant because this exchange or this trading has taken place amidst global uncertainties in Middle East and other parts of the world. From the year 2022, there is almost like a world order chaos. Either it is in Afghanistan, either it is between Israel, Iran, or some other neighboring country in the Middle East, either it is between Russia, Ukraine, sometimes USA is going to jump in just like right now. So despite these global uncertainties, this trade amount has become significantly higher as compared to the earlier time period. Now India's bilateral trade deficit with China has also exceeded $100 billion. I hope you do understand what is trade deficit. For example, we are sending, this is India and this is China. India is sending few of the things to China. Let us suppose it is sending 2 things to China. All right. And India is also taking few things from China. Let's suppose it is taking 5 things. So we are taking more than what we are sending to them. There is a difference of 3 units. Okay, 3 kg or 3 tons, whatever is the unit that is under you are basically taking in this particular example. So there is a significant trade deficit with major countries and major economies in the world, whether it is USA, whether it is China, which is not a good sign. We have to narrow this particular trade deficit as much as possible. So this can also be a directly question recently. What mark has India's trade deficit breached as far as the bilateral trade with China is concerned? So the answer is going to be $100 billion mark for the month of April 2025 to February 2026. In past 10 months, this has been the record trade deficit which we have seen soaring. Okay, chaliye. Why so? Because imports from China, what we are taking from China, has also significantly climbed to roughly around approximately $2 billion, which is quite a big amount if you see. From historical perspective, US has remained India's largest export destination. We are trading and we are in a bilateral relationship with a lot of countries, but US over the years has been the largest recipient of India originated goods. So it is largest export partner as far as Indian export is concerned. So this position was also held in February 2026, despite nearly 13% decline in the shipments to $6.9 billion due to tariff-related uncertainties. Due to all the uncertainties, as we have talked earlier also, global order mein, fir bhi this amount has been recorded. Still, US is the largest export destination of India. Chaliye. Netherlands ke case mein we have seen a sharp decline. There has been decline. How Netherlands has lost its position? There has been significant decline of more than 31%. All right, as far as the product going through and from Netherlands is concerned. Why this is so? Because of the reduced shipment of refined petroleum. India takes crude oil from a lot of countries like Qatar, other Middle East countries like Saudi, etc. Okay? We were taking it from Russia also till 2019. We were taking it from Iran also. But we do have some of the world's largest oil refineries in India. So we refine oil and we send it back to a lot of other countries. We send refined petroleum and other petroleum product to a lot of other countries. So due to this uncertainty, due to Middle East chaos, and due to a lot of uncertainties plus restrictions, these numbers have sharply fallen down. Now I have added this particular list. You can directly check the trade partnership. US is sitting at the top, as of February 2026. Year-on-year change is minus 13%. Still, it is at the top. All right. UAE is almost unchanged at around $3.25 billion. US is more than double of that. China has occupied the 3rd position at $1.67 billion. Netherlands is at the 4th position. Okay. Total Indian export to these 4 places, in fact, other countries included, is roughly around $36.61 billion. But there is almost a drop of 0.8% in the export to various countries in the world. Moving ahead, recently we had World TB Day, which had an official global theme titled "Yes, we can end TB, led by countries, powered by people." You can be asked in the examination which of this statement is true about the global theme of 2026 World TB Day. There might be a lot of statements. You have to select the correct statement. So the correct statement is going to be this one. Now, what was the location of this particular World TB Day 2026, which we had just celebrated? It was Gautam Buddha University, Greater Noida, Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Presiding official was Jagat Prakash Nadda Sahab, who is Minister for Health and Family Welfare. Key campaigns, let us integrate certain static journal knowledge with this particular thing. Key campaigns which are launched as initiative to combat tuberculosis includes the TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. It is a 100 days campaign focused upon intensifying our drive to accelerate the detection of TB cases. Okay. Second is the TB Mukt Bharat application. This is basically a digital tool to improve the treatment adherence, because the treatment of TB, it is not like you are going for a vaccine shot and you are coming back and everything is okay. It is a course. Just like you are enrolling in a course, the success of that journey, that success of that course depend upon how much completion is being done. So here also, this particular application, it not only tracks, but it also improves the treatment adherence and service delivery, for the patients. Next, last campaign which is associated with this, TB Mukt Urban Ward Initiative. It aimed at strengthening the last mile delivery, specifically in the high burden urban areas where the toll is significantly higher. Now, talking about the global statistics about mortalities pertaining to tuberculosis and the morbidity, I hope you do understand the difference between these two terms. Morbidity, this is also a demographic indicator. It basically represents the number of, simple language mein you can say, ill people, diseased people in a particular population. And any population which is having a high morbidity, it is also going to have a significantly higher mortality, because more the number of people who are ill, who are diseased, they are going to probably die earlier. Okay? So morbidity and mortality are linked with each other. Mortality is the death rate, how many individual per thousand are dying in a population in a particular country or in a particular state. So if we see the statistics, in 2024, estimated 10 million, more than a crore people fell ill with tuberculosis. Out of this, the greater share is of men, which is nearly 5.8 million, followed by women, 3.7 million, and children, who are nearly 1 million. Okay? Out of this 10 million, that is 1 crore individual who reported this case. There might be a lot of cases which are underreported or not reported at all. Out of this 1 crore plus population who got affected, around 12,30,000 people died due to tuberculosis. That is a significant mortality of around 11 to 12.5%. What is the economic impact? Every rupees or $1 that is invested in the tuberculosis, it generates up to $43 in economic and health returns. So if we are going to eradicate this particular disease or reduce the cases to such a low number, it is going to be a very high, because a lot of skilled individual, a lot of people who are going to significantly positively contribute towards the economy if these type of morbidities are not prevailing. Okay? Chaliye. Now, reason why we are celebrating the World TB Day on 24th, because it commemorates the day when Robert Koch announced the discovery of the bacterium that causes this particular disease in year 1888. So you should be aware about two data from here. Year is not very much mandatory. If you can retain, it is well and good. Otherwise, you should be aware of the name of the person, Robert Koch, and the bacterium that is associated with TB, which is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. All right. Chaliye. Moving ahead, National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, that is NTEP. It is the state-run initiative to manage TB and TB-led victims or patients in India. Now there is another program called as Nishchay Mitra. What is it? It is a program under the TB Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, which we have discussed on the previous slide, where volunteers who might be individuals or part of various organizations, NGOs, etc., they are providing nutritional and vocational support to the patients who are fighting for. So these are the people who are trying to do good for the society voluntarily. They are not necessarily getting paid or any recognition as like that. They are doing a type of social service, you can say. Next news here is regarding Dr. Jitendra Singh, who has recently unveiled outcomes of GARB INI, India's largest pregnancy cohort study. In fact, you have to pronounce it as GARB, not GARB. Okay? GARB basically associated the term, Hindi term for womb. All right. So here a very extended study was being undertaken. Initiative name was GARB 1NI. It is an interdisciplinary group for advanced research on the outcome of the birth. The parent body associated was Department of Biotechnology, that is DBT, and Ministry of S&T, that is Science and Technology. The size of the cohort was approximately 12,000 pregnant women who enrolled in this particular large-scale study. You should also be aware about the key terminologies which are associated. For example, what is cohort, which has been mentioned here? A cohort study is like following a group of people for a considerable or considerably longer time in order to see the outcomes. What happens to their health? What are the variables associated with their health? For example, whenever we study growth even in a population, we do this type of cohort studies where members are basically being incorporated and there is a longitudinal or long time period study is being undertaken on the selected individuals. So this is a cohort study which has been conducted and where 12,000 plus pregnant women have enrolled, making it South Asia as one of the largest cohort studies in recent time. What was the key outcome? The development of an indigenous AI-driven solution to reduce the preterm birth, that is the birth which is taking place before the due period. Okay? For example, the premature birth which does occur due to multiple factors. So we are trying to combat that because most of these premature birth often see high mortality or developmental or other type of delays. Okay? Chaliye. So research, talking about the research asset, the research utilized more than 16 lakh well-characterized biospecimen alongside 10 lakh ultrasound images which are part of the Department of Biotechnology, DBT, and Ministry of Science and Technology, the asset that they have basically integrated and utilized. Chaliye. Now there is also a platform, a data sharing platform which is associated with the name of this particular initiative. This is called as GARB 1NI Drishti. This is a newly launched data sharing platform where the data can be shared between groups, between bodies, between institutions, not only at the country level or national level, but globally. This data can be shared. Okay? What is the goal? It is trying to improve the maternal and child health outcomes to ensure that productive generation for Viksit Bharat is produced. Viksit Bharat is our ambitious aim for 2047, when India is going to complete its 100th year of independence. Now certain key terms and other variables associated with this information, let us try to see. There is a brief explanation for you. You can read this after the classes in order to get the gist if you are revising the content. So scientists at Department of Biotechnology followed 12,000 mothers and they use artificial intelligence tools to analyze the scans and blood samples. We have discussed about the blood samples here. This well-characterized biospecimen and 1 million plus ultrasound images. So they were being basically observed. Okay? They have been analyzed and this was part of this long-term study. They created a special dating model suited for Indian bodies to predict exactly when baby will be born and if there is any risk, then it can be calculated. Okay? Chaliye. Moving ahead to the next news. This is Manipur has launched Ningol 1 initiative on International Day of Forest. So firstly, it is an important day. We have discussed two important days alongside the news here in this particular lecture. One was the World TB Day. You should be aware of the date, okay, and why that day is basically selected. And here the second is the Manipur launching the Ningol one initiative on International Day of Forest. So when is this one International Day of Forest? 21st of March. 21st of March. Okay. Now the key term here is Ningol 1 initiative. What is Ningol? See, Ningol is basically a Meghalayan word. Okay. Sorry, not Meghalayan. It is basically a Manipuri word, which actually means married daughter or women. It is a symbolic word which highlight the bond between the families when the daughters are getting married and they are leaving the home, specifically when they reunite with the home after they get back to the home, after the marriage, when they get back to the home. This particular festival signifies the close bond between the individual, between the family members. So what is happening under this Ningol 1 initiative? Now Meitei, I hope you must have heard about Meitei population. In Manipur Valley region, that is Imphal Valley region, this population is presently residing, and this is the same population they are asking for the right for ST, and due to this you will see thousands of people have already been displaced, lakhs of people in fact have been displaced, and dozens of people have been you can say they have been died. A lot of BSF and armed force hostilities have also taken place in the northern eastern India and in the state of Manipur, because there is a chaos, there is a complete conundrum between these two particular groups. On one hand, Meitei is asking for scheduled tribe right, and on the other hand, tribes like Kukis, Jomis who are residing in the hill areas, they are against that. They do not want to share the protective features that has been constitutionally granted to them. Okay, so in the language of this Meitei language, or in Meitei culture, Ningol words refers to married daughter. Now this Ningol 1 initiative can be seen as an eco-feminist model where women-led self-help group are trying to conserve the biodiversity, specifically the forest. Okay. According to this initiative, which model of conservation are they using? Use a particular thing to preserve it. Till the time you are using something, it is not going to be like damaged by somebody else. So using something is one of the best ways in order to, what you can say, preserve something. So what is the problem here? See, in a lot of states of Northeast India, specifically those states which are in the vicinity of the Golden Triangle. I hope you do understand the global triangle, or the Golden Triangle, not global, Golden Triangle. Laos, Myanmar and Thailand are part of this Golden Triangle, and a lot of illicit drugs are basically being sourced, manufactured and sent to other countries, sold to other countries. Okay. A lot number of times the money that is generated through this is also used for terrorism and other like nefarious activities as well. Some of the places in the northern eastern region, specifically in the hilly region, at times there are certain rackets or there are certain bad peoples who are growing or cultivating poppy in these particular region. Why? Because it is a high profit, high margin thing for them. They are growing this and they are selling this. Okay? And they are utilizing the network which is very close to them. This Golden Triangle network, this is in vicinity of a lot of states of northeast, and this has been utilized by these particular people. So what has been done in order to cultivate poppy, in order to generate income? This is a wrong thing, but it is giving some people money, so they are indulged into that. Okay? So in order to curb the poppy plantation, what the women are going to do? They are going to utilize, they are going to conserve the forest. Because for growing poppy, you have to cut the trees. So they are not going to let them cut the trees. And how they are going to do? By fighting? No. By continuously utilizing that particular area. Okay? Now they are going to cultivate, they are going to preserve that particular area. They are going to combat this illegal poppy cultivation in the hill district by replacing it with sustainable plantation of what thing? Bamboo and aromatic essential oil crops. And then they are going to sell these things, which is also going to help them economically and financially. All right. An important fact that can be added in this particular news is 74% of Manipur's geographical area is under forest cover. That is a large amount of area. And if for poppy cultivation people, specifically in the hill areas, keep on cutting the trees, then it is not going to be very sustainable. In Manipur, forests are the backbone of the economy. Poppy, which is basically used for illegal drugs, is often grown by destroying these forests. Now, under this Ningol, one initiative by the women self-help group of Manipur, the women is taking the responsibility to protect the forest. They are going to collect fruit, herbs and process them into jam and juices at the One Dhan centers, which is under the government initiative Jan Dhan Yojana. You must have, Pradhan Mantri One Dhan Yojana, not Jan Dhan Yojana, as part of the Pradhan Mantri One Dhan Yojana. All right. So it is going to help in two ways. You are going to get money also, you are going to generate money, and alongside the generation of money, you are also getting economically benefited. Certain static information can also be used here. For example, the Pradhan Mantri One Dhan Yojana, it was launched in the year 2018. By whom? By MOTA, that is Ministry of Tribal Affairs, which was established in which year? 1999. And TriFed, which is basically a platform which promote, market and also provide right prices to the minor forest produce that has been sourced by the tribal people. So tribal people in the forest area where they are living, they cultivate a lot of things, they collect a lot of things. For example, honey, pure honey, wild honey can be collected by them. So it will be processed, it will be packaged and it will be marketed by a platform like TriFed. It is going to help these tribal people in order to strengthen them financially and also judicial use of their resources. Okay? So it aims at improving the tribal income through the MFPs. What is MFPs? The minor forest produce. Minor forest produce. Minor forest produce are, as the name suggests, minor things that you basically get from a forest. Honey, nectar, all these things, small reeds, grasses, herbs, etc. All right, these are minor forest produce. Chaliye, moving ahead to the next news, which is RBI has imposed penalty on HSBC for non-compliance with deposit norms. Now let us try to understand the news. Firstly, what is HSBC? RBI, you all are aware of, regulating body in India. Supreme Most Authority and a Reserve Bank of India. When it came, which was the act? I hope you are all aware. Tell me in the comment section which committee has recommended for the creation of RBI, when was RBI Act passed, and when was nationalization of Reserve Bank of India took place. Those who know this answer, tell me in the comment section. Moving ahead, so HSBC, which is basically a British bank, it stands for Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. Hong Kong and Shanghai British Banking Corporation. So the amount of penalty is roughly around 32 lakh rupees. Now, why this penalty has been inflicted by Reserve Bank of India? See, Reserve Bank of India has mandated a very specific provision for the unaccounted money in the banking system. For example, there was a person who tragically died before time, and he never mentioned that this particular money is basically kept in this particular bank and you have to take it out from here. Now that money, that person has died, but his money is stationed in the bank. People in his family or his friend circle, they do not know that where the money is basically being parked, in which bank it is basically deposited. They will probably come to know about it later, a couple of years later, 2-3 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later. But at times, bank keep this particular amount in their account and they kept on getting interest over it. Often they can show the same thing as their own profit, as their banking profit, which is not the case. So RBI has mandated recently, a few years ago, RBI has mandated that this cannot happen. What was the RBI's mandate? Banks are required according to RBI's mandate to handle the unclaimed deposit, which is almost untouched for 10 years. If there has been no transaction, no in or out, nobody has even asked for that money. And if there is any money which is there for more than 10 years, so it has to be handled very carefully, and this money is going to eventually move to a special fund which is called as the DEA fund. DEA fund, the full form is Depositor Education and Awareness Fund. All right. So bank must keep a list on their website so that the original owners or their children or their family members can check that. So even after 10 years, even when it has moved under this particular categorization or this particular fund, that is DEA fund, they can still claim later alongside interest. They can also claim this with interest. So in order to do that, you have to maintain it very carefully. You have to systematically assign numbers so that it can be located easily on the website. Now, in this regard, HSBC has defaulted. It has shown failure to host the searchable database for the unclaimed deposit. Also, it has shown failure to generate and assign a code, which I was just mentioning, that there is a code which is generated and it has assigned with this particular fund so that people can later fetch it. Okay? So this particular code, that is the UDRN code or the UDRN number, was also not assigned in some of the cases. When RBI found it, it inflicted around 32 lakh rupees of penalty for breaching this code of conduct or breaching this trust. Okay? Chaliye. So HSBC here has failed to provide the search tool and didn't give any unique ID number, that is UDRN, to these deposits. Moving ahead, just a second. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can keep them asking in the comment section. Okay, if something is there that you are not able to understand, you can keep them or drop them in the comment section. Now, this DA fund is managed by which body? It is managed by Reserve Bank of India. When was it established? It was established under Section 26A of the Banking Regulation Act of 1949. And there is a official platform or a portal for the same, which is called as the Udgam portal, where one can locate his or her unclaimed amount. This might not be yours, but it may be somebody like of member in your family. So you can locate it with a particular number which we have just mentioned here. That is the UDRN number. Chaliye. Those students who are willing to take part in the paid batches for preparation of banking examination, the super elite batches have just started. So a lot of features are mentioned here. I'll get aside, you can take a screenshot and compare it with the normal courses what we are providing here. And if you are willing to get enrolled, you can reach to the Oliveboard counseling numbers, which are probably mentioned in the description or the website also. Chaliye. Now, next news is regarding BOB launching India's first UPI linked overdraft for women SHG member. There are few key terms which we need to understand. What is an overdraft facility? Overdraft facility, for example, if I am having 10 rupees in my bank account and if I want to use some excess amount, let us say 12 rupees for a particular transaction. So this extra amount is going to be called as the overdraft amount. Okay? I am utilizing beyond the threshold that I have, beyond the amount that is present in my bank account. So this is the overdraft facility which is provided. This is already present in a lot of credit cards. Most of the credit cards, most of the debit cards do provide this facility. You can activate this overdraft facility. Although it has certain charges, but people who needed the money in urgent situation, they have no problem utilizing that overdraft. Nowadays, a lot of institutions and financial bodies have started providing overdraft without any interest, without any hidden cost, etc. Okay? So what is unique in this particular thing? Bank of Baroda has specifically launched this facility for self-help group member. Self-help group women, for example, if they want to indulge into any type of activity, they want to manufacture something. For example, just like Lijjat Papad, you must have heard about it. And they are manufacturing, let's say, any type of snacks, any type of cookies, and then they are selling it and generating some income. So government is trying to promote them. Okay, we are supposed to promote them. We are supposed to promote their employability. Also, it is going to strengthen the women's empowerment in the country. So now, earlier what used to happen, if they want, let's suppose 5,000 rupees for purchasing certain raw material for manufacturing the thing that they deal in or they trade in. So they have to go to bank, they have to fill the form, they have to take this money. Now they can simply do it through their UPI account, through their mobile phone. They can avail this facility. So this is a one of a kind first UPI linked. It is not on a card. You do not have to use a card. You can just utilize your UPI app in order to avail this overdraft facility. So this is basically started for the women self-help group members. You are going to be provided OD facility or the overdraft facility on the credit line on UPI. Now for that you have to be verified, part of verified women SHG. It cannot be that you are just claiming yourself to be running or be a part of SHG and this facility is going to be given to you by BOB. You have to be a verified SHG members with the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, PMJDY. All right, what is PMJDY? What are the main provision? If you do know, tell me in the comment section. Now the credit limit is 5,000 rupees. You can transact for 5,000 rupees. This is the OD limit. This is not the total amount. For example, let's suppose you are having 20,000 rupees in your account and the product that you are trying to purchase is of 23,000 rupees. 23,000 rupees. So if you are going to transact using this particular UPI linked OD limit, then 3,000 is going to be your amount. It is not going to be counted as 23,000. Only 3,000 is the credit limit that you have utilized in this OD mode transaction. Chaliye, which bodies have partnered with BOB for the launch of this particular facility? The National Payment Corporation of India, IBA, that is the Indian Banks Association, and also DNRLM, which is Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihood Mission. These are the concerned body in this particular initiative. Now, if this UPI is going to work, there has to be certain portal for that. So there is a portal which is called as the Bob e-portal. It is the portal with which you can avail this particular facility, or you can also integrate the same with any of the UPI app that you are already using. So there are both the modes are already available here. Chaliye, certain static portion, for example, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, it was launched in the year 2040 and it tries to ensure the financial inclusion of people of India, specifically targeting the poor households. Okay. NPCI, it is the umbrella organization for operating the retail payment and the settlement system. The UPI, etc., the Aadhaar linked tokenization, all these initiatives are part of NPCI. Tell me in the comment section, in which of the following year NPCI came into existence? Was it 2006, was it 2008, was it 2009, or was it 2012? Mention the year or none of the above. Tell me in the comment section. Next is IBA, which we have just mentioned, Indian Banks Association. It is a representative body for management of banking in India, which is operated in India. It is it has a long history, and it was established in the year 1946. Moving ahead, the next news is regarding Lok Sabha passing the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Amendment Bill 2026. What is this bill about? See, till now, the sexual identity or the sexual inclination of person was mostly self-perceived. That the person is able to tell what is his or her sexual orientation, what he thinks or perceives about himself. This is a social and psychological determination that was going on till now. Now this particular bill, that is the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Amendment Bill of 2026, it has been mandated that only on the basis of biological characteristic you can be characterized as belonging to any of these particular categories. ठीक है, और इसने रिकॉग्निशन को बंद कर दिया. It has replaced the recognition of people who used to call them as trans male and trans female. It has almost deleted this particular concept. ठीक है, इसको वहाँ से हटा दिया हुआ है कि I self perceive or think of myself to be sexually oriented like this or like that. Now all the determination is going to be solely on the basis of biological traits of the individual, not upon self-perceived social cum psychological inclination of that particular individual. So that is the purpose. This was a summary of this particular act. Let us try to understand the important details. It deletes the provision for right to self-perceived gender identity, which was present formally under section 4 subsection 2. All right. Now, new requirement for recognition is you have to go through a biological cum medical verification for the same. Now, once you get the certificate for your identity, then only you can claim this type of sexual inclination aspect कि आप किस तरफ inclined हो या किस तरफ inclined नहीं हो. तो वो पावर्स किसको दी गई हैं? Who is having that particular authority? DM can issue this type of certificate. The district magistrate can issue this type of certificate on recommendation of a medical board. है ना? He or she is not going to do that himself or herself. It is only upon the recommendation of a medical board which will do a biological or medical verification. Post that, a certificate can be granted to you by the district magistrate. चलिए, what are the key changes? As I have mentioned, it removed the trans men, trans women and gender queer type of prior inclusive scopes. It has added inch and the community, for example, traditionally in India, the group which is called as hijras, ठीक है ना? So they have also been incorporated here. It has been added and retained in this particular list. चलिए, Any other key details? Yes. Now, if anybody is found to be compelling a transgender person into a bonded labor or denying access to public spaces, carries a penalty of 6 months to 2 years. It has become, after you have gotten the certificate, now you are considered as a, let's say, if you are included under this transgender category, post this certificate issuance after the medical verification. If then any person is basically being seen that he or she is being forced into bonded labor, which in Hindi is called as bandua mazduri, they are going to be penalized for a significant amount, and also there is a provision for jail ranging from 6 to 2 years. There is also an important case associated with the same. In the landmark case of Nalsa versus the Union of India dating back to 2014, the Supreme Court held that self-determination of gender is fundamental right under Article 21. है ना? Supreme Court has ruled out that self-determination of your sexual identity is a fundamental right that the people of India have under Article 21. This decision is saying that self-identification is not going to be counted for your transgender status. Only biological examination is going to be counted for that. Chaliye, moving ahead, Gujarat Assembly has recently passed the Uniform Civil Code. I hope you are aware with the idea of Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Codes means simply that in a particular state or in a particular country, there can be a lot of communities, and these communities have their own governing laws. For example, in Islam, the authority of Hadith or Shariat can be very important. Similarly, if there is a traditional Hindu family, for them the Smriti tradition, what is written in their Shastras, can be more important. For other communities also, their respective code of conduct which their religion preaches are significant. You know? At times, specifically the minorities in various countries including India in different time frame were given this self-regulation. And this is not something which is only associated with community or a religion. For example, in the Northeast India, seeing the unique condition and cultural uniqueness of the people, the constitution has granted them regional autonomy. For example, no act of parliament is going to directly apply to the states which are part of 6th schedule. There are 4 states. And also for other states in Northeast like Nagaland, etc., special constitutional provision like Article 371 has been already created. So they provide a protective environment, and they also respect the community's custom, their belief, their ideas, their law, their tradition, so that they can profess or live a dignified life. But often it becomes quite contradictory, specifically in terms of civil and criminal matters. If the religious customs are in one direction and the nationalized, or you can say the moral or the value-oriented, the human value-oriented, constitutional, legal paradigm is totally against that. So there is a conflict of interest. Which one to follow? So our constitution itself has envisaged that these different laws of various communities and people should be kept aside, and there should be one single law according to which everybody should be ruled. There should be one uniform law, one uniform civil code according to which there should be complete rule that has to be established. So this is present in the constitutional article also. It is part of Article 44, that is in the DPSP section. So now Gujarat has become the second state after Uttarakhand. In 24, I think 23, 24 or 20, a couple of years ago, उत्तराखंड became the first state जिसने UCC को अप्लाई किया था, पास किया था. अभी यहाँ पर गुजरात has become the second state. Recently, a lot of other states have shown intent to incorporate UCC. For example, Chhattisgarh, and Mr. Amit Shah is the Union Home Minister. He has also promised the people of Assam that if they win the Assam General Assembly election this year, they are going to bring UCC in Assam as well. Although there is a provision which is very important for like places like Chhattisgarh and Assam, because there is a lot of tribal population in these particular state. So the code of this particular UCC is not going to be directly apply on the scheduled tribe. So it is uniform but not uniform for everybody. It is not going to be automatically applied to the scheduled tribe people. And scheduled tribe people are not a small population. Scheduled tribe is around 8.6% of the total Indian population as per census of 2011. Currently, if we do census, 100% this number is going to be in north of 9%. It is going to be more than 9%. And we are talking about scheduled tribe. We are not talking about all the tribe. For example, we have just discussed about the case of Meitei. Meitei is asking for the scheduled tribe status. Similarly, a lot of communities in Gujarat, Haryana, Rajasthan, they are asking for the status. If we even count those communities who call themselves as tribe but have not been declared scheduled tribe under Article 342, the total number will breach to the big mark of around 12 to 13%, which is very near to the population of Muslims or proportion of Muslims in the country, which is the largest minority in the country. All right. Now, if you compare it with other minorities in the country, for example, the Christians, the Buddhists, the Jains, their number is very less. For example, Christians are roughly 2.5% in the country, quite less than compared to the scheduled tribe. All right. Buddhist and Jain people, according to 2011 census, they are hardly 1.25, 1.35 lakh. 1.25, 1.35 crore, not lakh. All right, so scheduled tribe is a big population. Now, why we are excluding them outside the purview of UCC? Because it cannot be applied on them. For example, if you talk about Assam, Assam is in 6th schedule list. There are 4 states in 6th schedule: Mizoram, Assam, Tripura, and Meghalaya. Okay? And they are given regional autonomy. Similarly, Nagaland with 371 has been given this regional autonomy. Now, when you are trying to basically implement something like UCC, it is going to go against the constitutional law. So how come a statutory law, a law which has been passed by Parliament, has upper hand over a law which is present, over a particular thing which is present in the Constitution? Constitution is at the top. Everything is below Constitution. Any act that is passed by the Parliament, it can never replace the Constitution until and unless you amend the constitutional article itself. Chaliye. Moving ahead, India ranks. Was there something else which we need to incorporate? Yes, there is another fact which is important, relevant, which you can include here. That is about the Goa. Goa already has this civil code, which the government or the state has not implied. It is a colonial era law that is present in Goa since ages, from 1867. It has the Portuguese civil code already applied there. Chaliye. Now, this Gujarat Assembly, UCC, will prohibit the bigamy. You cannot, one person cannot have 2 partners. He cannot marry twice, basically. All right. It is also going to do a mandatory registration of live-in relationship. For example, if you are going to choose to live in relationship with somebody, then you are supposed to register that live-in relationship also. Earlier, it was a loose thing. It was highly regulated. In Uttarakhand UCC also the same provisions are there. Next report is regarding India has recently been ranked among 143 countries in the 8th World Air Quality Report. So definitely we are aware that we are one of the most polluted country in the world, but there are other countries which are far more polluted than, for example, Pakistan is at the first place, the most polluted country, followed by Bangladesh, then Tajikistan, then Chad in Africa, then DRC, which is again in Central Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo, and then India. Okay? The marks, the PM 2.5 concentration has also been mentioned. These are the average values. Some of the states are more cleaner. For example, in South India, there are a lot of cities which are cleaner. Coastal region usually has less amount of pollution or PM 2.5, PM 10 concentration. For example, the AQI of Mumbai, because it is a coastal region, it is not that high. Kerala also, it is coastal region. It is comparatively less, you can say, industrialized as compared to a lot of other places, like Mumbai, like Calcutta, etc. So that is also one of the reason. Apart from that, there is a huge amount of greenery in the state, large amount of forest cover that you'll see. The size of the state is smaller. There are only hardly 12 to 13 districts. I too have visited more than half of them. So these states have comparatively better AQI. Similarly, Northeast also, a lot of places in Meghalaya have cleaner air. So when we take the national average, there are few places which are very having very bad AQI. For example, the entire Delhi NCR region, Ghaziabad, Meerut, Delhi, the national capital, Gurugram, Noida, Greater Noida, Bagpat, these all places in and around Delhi, they are very polluted. At times in the winter, the AQI breaches 480, 500. And a lot of allegations were there on the government that government is trying to mask the actual AQI by watering around the AQI meters or monitors. The AQI at times breached even 1,000. In a lot of European countries, if the AQI breaches the amount of 100, there is a national emergency which is declared. In India, 100 is a good news if we get 100 AQI. So, leaving that apart, you can see here the national average for PM 2.5 in India is around 48.9, roughly around 49 microgram per cubic meter. It is nearly 10 times than the safe limit which has been highlighted by World Health Organization. The publisher of this report has surveyed more than 143 countries. The name of the publisher is IQ Air. And this was the 8th World Air Quality Report which was generated by this body, that is IQ Air. And most polluted city record went to a place in Ghaziabad which is called as Luni, where the average AQI over the year was around 112. Some days will go beyond 500-600, some days when there is a rainfall, etc., then the temperature, then the AQI won't be that bad. Now, most polluted capital, New Delhi has been ranked as world's most polluted capital for the 8th consecutive time. There is no scope for any other country's capital to break the record of New Delhi. New Delhi is always going to be the most polluted city in the world. Now, talking about Indian cities, most of the world's top 100 polluted cities we have in India. 66 of those top 100 polluted cities are there in India. Cleanest city in the world record went to a city in South Africa. The pronunciation of the name is very hard. It is New-Waterville. Whatever it is. So it is a place in South Africa, a city in South Africa which has received this award for the cleanest city. Now the National Clean Air Program was also launched to tackle the pollution of specifically the air pollution, but around 60-65% of the budget of this particular NCAP program was spent on cleaning the roads only. How we are going to do other things, vehicular pollution ko how we are going to curb if the 65% budget is only going to clean the dust which is present on the roads. We need to do and take more stronger initiatives like other countries. For example, in China and a lot of other developed countries, construction is there. The entire area is covered. The dust, debris, etc. is not percolating in the other areas. Moving ahead. Next news we have is regarding Digital India. Bhashini and PF RDA has recently signed a memorandum of understanding for multilingual pension service. So what is Bhashini? Bhashini is a AI tool, and PFRDA is a regulating body, which is regulating the entire pension ecosystem in our country. The full form is also given here. Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. It is a statutory body which was established in the year 2020. And Bhashini is India's one of AI-led language technology mission under National Language Translation Mission or NLTM, which comes under MEITY, Ministry of Electronics and Technology. यहाँ पे जो आपकी मिनिस्ट्री है IT एंड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स, इसके अंदर में आपको आते हुए देखने को मिलेगा, इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी. ठीक है. चलिए, so what this particular MOU is about, it is going to integrate multilingual digital capabilities into pension sector. You can just suppose or take an example that a farmer is working in Andhra Pradesh or Tamil Nadu. He is more familiar with his own mother tongue, है ना? He is willing to utilize the pension services after his retirement, but due to the language barrier he is not able to utilize things properly. Now the integration of different languages, it is going to contain all the languages which are present in the 8th schedule of the constitution. How many languages are part of 8th schedule? 22 such languages. So this is going to curb, or this is going to fill the language barrier. It is going to remove the language barrier which is present for a seamless experience for the people who are using this particular facility. Okay. Coming to the next news, this is regarding JICA, which has recently signed 4 ODA loan agreement worth 16,420 crore for key projects in India. So ODA का मतलब क्या है? ODA is Official Development Assistant. It is typically a low interest loan that is given by developed countries to developing countries in order to specifically focus more upon the, you can say, manufacturing, integration of or creation of roads, okay, transportation and commute projects like metro, etc. So this was the amount which was given to India. Now the total amount was JPY 275.858. What is this JPY? Japanese yen. Yen is the currency of Japan, which this particular amount is equivalent to 16,400 crore rupees. Okay. So a total of 4 projects have been, you can say, approved by JICA. The highest weightage project is the Bangalore Metro Rail project, phase 3 of which has been granted around $102 billion rupee. More than $102 billion rupee is going to be, not rupee, 102 billion Japanese yen is going to be invested. So out of the total 275.8 billion yen, 102 billion yen is going for this particular Bangalore Metro Rail project. You can see almost 35 to 40% of the entire amount on a single project. Then Mumbai Metro Line, 11 projects are integrated here, for which roughly around 92 billion yen have been assigned. For Maharashtra tertiary healthcare and nursing education, which is going to focus upon construction of 4 medical colleges, hospitals and also 10 nursing schools in Maharashtra, again roughly around 62 billion yen has been assigned. For sustainable horticulture in Punjab, around 18.5 billion yen has been assigned or approved by this JICA. Okay. What is JICA? This is Japan International Cooperation Agency, a body, financing body, which funds a lot of projects in developing countries, specifically in India, which has been a long-standing partner of Japan. Next is, recently Indian Navy has launched Operation Urja Suraksha to secure energy vessels in Strait of Hormuz. I hope you are aware of what is the Strait of Hormuz. Strait of Hormuz is a narrow strait, ठीक है, बिटवीन विच रीजन्स, कहाँ पर ये आपको दिखाई देता है वो बताइए मुझे. पर्शियन गल्फ और गल्फ ऑफ ओमान के को ये बेसिकली कनेक्ट कर रहा है. इट इज़ कनेक्टिंग द पर्शियन गल्फ विद गल्फ ऑफ ओमान एंड इट इज़ अ वेरी नैरो पाथवे. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पाथवे. वाई? बिकॉज एज वी हैव मेंशन्ड इन प्रोबेबली प्रीवियस लेक्चर्स एज वेल, 55% ऑफ इंडियाज क्रूड ऑयल नीड and 90% plus India's LPG transportation is depending upon this particular important international trade route. Iran has recently choked it when it engaged in war with Israel and America, due to which there is a lot of uncertainty and fluctuation. Shipments are being delayed, they have to be rerouted, you know? There is always a danger. So in order to solve this particular problem, what has happened? India has launched this particular operation called as Urja Suraksha. What is Urja Suraksha? So the consignment that are coming from that particular route, the route of Strait of Hormuz, they are going to be guarded. They are going to be basically, you can say, escorted by more than 4, I think total of 5 are there. Let me see, yes. Total of 5 frontline warships are going to be deployed in this particular region, which is going to ensure that these consignments and vessels safely reach to India. Even the capital city, the regime of Iran, has guaranteed that safe passage will be given to the Indian escorted vessel. इंडियन एस्कॉर्टेड वेसल, ठीक है. चलिए, और हमने अभी क्या किया है, दो हमारे जो एलपीजी कैरियर्स थे, दैट इज पाइन गैस एंड जग वसंत, विच वर कैरिंग 42,000 मिलियन टन्स ऑफ एलपीजी, दे हैव बीन सक्सेसफुली एस्कॉर्टेड. So this has already achieved initial success, and we are hoping that in the future also this will be maintained. So with this, I think we have almost discussed most of the important updates pertaining to the month of March, third week. Now we are going to quickly solve few questions, and after this we will be winding up the session. It is already time we should wind up, but let's have few questions, then we'll be winding it up. First question is, which country recently surpassed Netherlands to become India's third largest export partner? Answer is China. ठीक है, चाइना यहाँ पर सेकेंड हमारा आंसर है. फर्स्ट पे यूएई है, सेकेंड पे आपका फर्स्ट पे यूएस है, सेकेंड पे आपका यूएई है. Second option is, historically the Netherlands ranked highly as an Indian export destination primarily due to which geographical asset acting as European delivery point? Answer is the port of Rotterdam. Port of Rotterdam. ठीक है, चलिए. Next question is, what was the global theme of World TB Day? I have specifically mentioned that you should keep this in mind. First option is invest to end TB, save lives. Second is the clock is ticking. Third is yes we can end TB, led by countries, powered by people. Fourth is unite to end TB. Correct answer is C, yes we can end TB. ठीक है. Next is, under the National Tuberculosis Elimination Program, which specific initiative allow volunteers to provide nutritional and vocational support? So this was I think Nikshay Mitra. ठीक है, निक्षय मित्रा वॉज बेसिकली अबाउट द सेम. चलिए आगे, द गर्भ INI और 1NI इनिशिएटिव पेरेंटेड बाय डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोटेक्नोलॉजी फोकसेस ऑन यूजिंग AI ड्रिवन सॉल्यूशन टू रिड्यूस विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग? जेस्टेशनल डायबिटीज, मैटरनल मोर्टेलिटी रेट, कॉन्जेनाइटल हार्ट डिफेक्ट्स और प्रीटर्म बर्थ. द आंसर इज प्रीटर्म बर्थ. ठीक है. मूविंग अहेड, व्हाट इज द Garb INI study considered a vital shift in the Indian clinical epidemiology? It relies exclusively on Western models for pregnancy dating. It replaces ultrasound imaging with multi-omics biomarkers. It created a dating model suited specifically for Indian biological variation. It is the first study to ban traditional medical duration. The correct answer is, it created a dating model. C is the correct answer. Next is, Manipur's Ningol 1 initiative combats illegal poppy cultivation by replacing it with sustainable plantation. What does Ningol symbolize in Meitei culture? In Meitei culture, it signifies, what is the correct answer here? A married daughter or a woman. This is the correct answer. Sacred forest, harvest season, traditional bamboo craft. So B is the correct answer here. Why did the Reserve Bank of India impose a penalty of around 31.8 lakh on HSBC? Unauthorized cryptocurrency transaction, failure to report non-performing asset, non-compliance regarding unclaimed deposit norms, exceeding foreign exchange limit. Correct answer is non-compliance regarding unclaimed deposit. ठीक है, both answers are correct. चलिए, moving ahead, BOB recently launched India's first UPI linked overdraft. Who are the primary verified beneficiary for that? Women SSGs. Women SSGs are the beneficiaries. The Transgender Person Protection of Right Amendment 26 modifies the certification process by removing which previous provision? The right to self-perceive, recognition via biological, the role of district magistrate, penalties for. The answer is right to self-perceive gender identity. Correct. Both are correct. Moving ahead, Gujarat became the second Indian state formally इतना which was state adopted. Uttarakhand है ना 23-24 में it became the first state. According to 8th World Air Quality Report, by which city holds the title of the most polluted city? Most polluted तो Loni in Ghaziabad. Where it is located? In Ghaziabad. Next is Digital India. Bhashini signed an MOU with PFRDA. What is the primary operation impact of this? Translate judicial document, make pension service accessible, digitalize historical. Correct answer is this, B. Okay. Zika recently signed ODA loan agreement worth 16,000 something crore. Which of the following not one of the project? Bangalore Metro Rail है, Mumbai Metro Line 11 project है, High Speed Rail Corridor, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, and Sustainable Horticulture. The correct answer for 13 and 14 for one is B, for the other is it is C. ठीक है, B and C. अच्छा चलिए. The National Navy launch operation Energy Suraksha. This we have just like read towards the end. Answer is Strait of Hormuz. Under its new policy effective from the LA 28, that is Los Angeles Olympics 28, the IOC will mandate which specific verification to compete in the female category? Testosterone suppression monitoring, SRI gene screening DNA test, continuous bone density mapping, hormone replacement therapy. I think have we discussed this particular thing? नहीं, ये शायद नहीं था, but इसका आंसर SRY जीन होगा शायद. SRY जीन होगा, ठीक है ना? SRY जीन क्या है? You must be aware that humans have 23 pair of chromosome. That is 20 total 46 chromosomes are there. Out of this 23 pair, 22 chromosomes are called as autosomes, and one pair of chromosome is called as allosome. ठीक है, that is the sex chromosome which has X and Y chromosome. X is called as a male chromosome, Y is seen as, sorry, X is the female, Y is the male. So on this Y chromosome there is a specific region where a particular gene is present which is called as SRY gene. This SRY gene basically is associated with development of male-like traits or male sexual determination among the humans. So this particular screening is going to detect or be used for the purpose of deciding that biologically you will be categorized as a male or as a female. The reason is that what is this news related to? Olympic from 2028, which is going to held at LA 20 Los Angeles. You have to mention in the comment section if you know what is the number of Olympic that is being conducted. Is it 20th Olympic, 25th Olympic, 30th Olympic, 32nd Olympic? You have to mention that in the comment section. Okay? Chaliye. So for this what will be happening? A swab test will be done. Just like in COVID, na swab test used to be done. Similar, a swab test is basically being done because all your body cells, all your body tissues contain cells, and in the nucleus of the cells these chromosomes are present, and on the chromosomes basically these genes are arranged. Okay? So we are basically going to determine if these genes are present or not. If the test is positive, genes are present, then you will be considered as biological male, and you cannot be allowed to participate in female sports or female category sports. If it is negative, then you can definitely take part in that. Okay? Achha, there are certain relaxation for few people also. For example, those who are androgen insensitive. They are individuals who are in the category of androgen insensitivity. For example, the male hormone testosterone, they have insensitivity towards that. So male hormone testosterone is responsible for development of a lot of secondary sexual characteristics and other traits among the male, which basically provides them male-like features. Okay? So few people are basically having this type of chromosomal aberration where they are insensitive to this androgen. So for them, and medical board evaluation will be conducted, and according to the review and report of that particular board, it will be decided that are you allowed to take part in the female category or you are not allowed to take part in the female category. Why all these things are being done? These things are basically being done because it has been observed that male biologically have higher edge in a lot of sports category. For example, they have more than 100% edge as far as the categories of punching is concerned. Even in sprinting, running, swimming, they are having an upper end. So if we are allowing these biological male who are calling themselves as probably female or transgender or with some other label, then it is not going to be a free and fair sport. So the idea is that. Chaliye. ठीक है ना। तो जैसे मैंने आपको बताया SRI जीन स्क्रीनिंग इज गोइंग टू बी डन. Next is Indian Air Force rolled out Vayuban. This is also not present in the slide, I think. This AIF Vayuban, which distinctly characterized as India's first was helicopter drop drone project supervision. Correct answer is helicopter drop drone project. So under this Vayuban, the drones are going to be, usually what happens, drones are basically originated from the surface and then they move towards the sky. Now here what is happening, a helicopter, probably a helicopter used by Indian Army, they are loitering in a particular area, you know, if they want to like deploy or drop a particular, attack a particular target, enemy target, they do not have to go near and risk their life. They can basically use this particular drone. So this is a one of a kind drone, Vayuban, part of Indian Air Force, which is going to be launched from the air, from the helicopter itself, and it is going to target or crash with the target in order to destroy it without endangering the life of the army people. Not army, in fact the armed forces people, the air force people who are in that particular helicopter. They did not have to reach that far. So with this, I think we come to the end of the discussion. You can join our Telegram spaces for daily quiz updates. We do conduct, there is a team which is continuously trying to make questions, design questions for you, and you have to take part in those questions. Okay, you have to take part, you have to answer those questions. If you are correctly answering, you can track your preparation strategy. Is it working, is it not? Okay. For the guidance and the paid batches, Banking Super Elite and other programs, we have already mentioned it earlier. You can revisit the slides or you can directly communicate the counseling team. The number might be given either on the website, you can reach, or you can also do the same through counseling number, which might be present in the description section of this particular video also. So see you all in the next lecture. Now we have, I think this was March 4th week. So now we are going to begin the April session video. April 1st week, April 2nd week, April 3rd week, April 4th week. We are going to begin that. So we'll be taking a gap of 1 day. Tomorrow we are not going to have any YouTube session. On Thursday, I think now. Today it's Tuesday, I believe. Yes, so on Thursday now, at the same time, 5 p.m, we are going to start with our April 1st week current affairs compilation session. So stay tuned with the channel. Do subscribe to the channel so that you can keep on getting regular updates. Goodbye, take care. If you like the video, do comment and share it with others.